Hey there, thanks for taking the time to do our Classic Plus intro survey. We think this will be a great place to get the community's initial thoughts on the features and ideas of what we've all been discussing. We'll be asking you questions in 4 sections. 1, demographic and server game setting. 2, in-game services. 3, the world. And 4, the player. Most questions are optional, however, the first handful are required so we can gather some demographic data. Makes sense? This is like a third-party survey, so I think this might use that to show Blizzard, be like, hey, this is what people actually want. Because Blizzard tends to do this shit where they just like make up whatever the hell they want to do, and then they're really good at ignoring their players and not giving them what they want. You know, the do you not have phones type situation here. So hopefully they can use this data and actually do something decent with it. So why don't we start? Section 1, demographic and server game settings. What faction do you usually play? Now, I've played both over the years, but I am primarily a Horde. I've had my same Blood Elf Paladin since Burning Crusade, actually, since that launched, the original one. But I've also had quite a few Alliance characters over the years too, but I'd say I'm primarily a Horde. But usually play, yeah, I would say, let's go for the Horde. Foot to Huh. What race would you consider your main? Feel free to pick multiple. Now, since Blood Elf is not in Classic, maybe they'll add it in Classic, some sort of High Elf. I would have to say, even though my friends, when they play Horde, I primarily play Troll. If I'm going to be playing a Horde. But if I have my pick of the litter, I'm a Night Elf Andy. Always have been. They're huge. They're jacked. They do flips. They got cool hair. And I love their starting area. So, Night Elf, where we're at. What class would you consider your main? Ooh, this one's tough. Paladin is my main, Ret Pally. But obviously, Paladins suck in Classic. As far as Ret goes, you shouldn't play them. You can if you want, but pretty useless. I would say now that I'm older, I just play Hunter most of the time. Leveling is just so much easier that way, dude. I can sit back, drink my coffee, and shoot my arrows and just kind of chill. Second screen that YouTube, you know, all the good stuff. I love Warrior too, but it's just more work. And I'm too lazy to deal with that shit a lot of times. Having to bandage and heal and eat food after every pull. Nah, dog, that ain't for me. Give me a pet class, give me a hunter, give me a warlock. How old am I? I'm 70 plus. I've been around this generation for years and years. Nah, I'm 34. I think Blizzard's gonna find that. Thank you. I love my mug. I think Blizzard is gonna find that the typical generation, now that we're a bunch of aging boomers, is gonna be the 31 to 46 range primarily. That's gonna get your bulk of people. Probably a little decent chunk, 51 to 56, and you're probably a little decent chunk down here, the 18 to the 25 as well. Maybe there's some kids playing, some little Zoomers, but I think most of the Zoomers nowadays are not doing that. I think they're just kind of playing Fortnite. I don't know. What is that the game? Kids are still playing Fortnite? Oh. Maybe they'll play Hightail with me. Show me the ropes. That'd be fun. How often do you play WoW each week? Less than weekly. Inactive, a few hours a week. A few hours a week is 1 to 9. I guess it's a few. Over 10 hours a week, every day if I can. Well, I play a lot of WoW, 40 plus hours. Oh, this one's tough because it's like when? Like when the game's fresh and popping off? Because if it's a new patch, I could be playing, you know, easily 5 plus hours a day. That's like where my free time's going. But if the patch is fizzling and on the way out, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. I would say, let's say a few hours a week right now. Definitely it'd be over 10 hours a week if it was peak patch season. What is your experience with the various iterations of vanilla / classic World of Warcraft? Check all that apply. So, Season of Discovery. I actually really love Season of Discovery. It just kind of fell off. Some content droughts, and I was playing on a PvP server, and we just kept getting ganked over and over and over again. And I think we were just like, maybe not. I'm more of a PvE Andy for now. Now that I'm older, I just don't want to mess with the PvP stuff, the world PvP. It's just always bullshit. It's always unfair team fights. You run in there, it's 1v3 or 3v1. You either blow them up or they blow you up. And then you just spend your time running back. I ain't got time for that anymore. Vanilla WoW at launch, old. I did not play at launch. Not the initial launch. I played like midway through Classic. And I was around for the launch of Burning Crusade. I did play some private servers back in the day. Season of Mastery. Classic Anniversary. I did play the Classic relaunch. I went so hard. I was just couch surfing at my friend's house on my laptop. I got to like level 40 on my hunter in like a few days or some shit. I was just absolutely going bananas, man. Only banana. I've never played WoW. If you never played WoW, why would you be taking the survey? You know, for Classic Plus. I guess it could matter, maybe to show them what you would want if you wanted to get into WoW. What role do I usually play? I'm a typical DPSer, dude. I've tanked. I've done some healing, but I'd say like 95% of my esteemed WoW career, I've been a DPS, Andy. Particularly of the Retribution brand. Yeah, it's a pretty funny option. What region do you play from? North America. North America. Which of the following labels describe you? Choose as many as you feel is accurate. Not a hardcore raider. I'm a leveler. That's the main reason you play Classic, is to level, right? Come on. Transmog Hunter. Auction House Gamer. Who the hell's an auction house gamer, dude? Just some weird autistic kid? He's like, oh yeah, I gotta flip every auction. That's how I play World of Warcraft. I mean, if that's how you play it, I guess do you, but why not just like be a stock trader in real life and make some real money, I guess, if you can do that. Casual Raider. I do PvP, not a completionist. I got a decent amount of achievement points, but I've kind of given up on achievement hunting over the years. That kind of got old too. There's just so many, and you don't really get anything for them anymore. No one cares about achievement points anymore, dude. You look at people and it's like, oh, you have 20 to 40,000 achievement points. Like, congratulations, I guess. You know, no thanks. Specific achievements are cool, but just random ones, not so much. Casual Raider. I would do some casual raiding. I haven't recently, but I would definitely get back into it since I got some more time. I'd say I hunt for some transmogs. I hunt for some transmogs. Not like all day. I used to run some old raids to get some mogs. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? Is there any other answer if you play World of Warcraft? I can't wait to log in. Man, I would just love to just absolutely go so balls deep into Classic Plus if it actually released and it was sick. I would love that. So, would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, how much? Ooh, a box fee. I mean, we already pay a sub. We already pay a sub. We've been paying subs for years. We've been playing for a long time. That's the most the players are going to pull in. Like, if Classic Plus was like an actual huge game and it was totally different and they put a shit ton of work into it, maybe I can see him paying like 20 bucks. Don't make it crazy. You know. Just one answer. I mean, I'm going to play it if it costs a little bit of money, right?
What?
They know that. Blizzard's got us by the balls. If you're a huge fan. Like, would I pay 60 plus USD? Unfortunately, probably yeah, I would. Sucks to say, I probably would pay that. But it really depends on how much is shown / promised. 20 bucks. I could go with that maybe, but we'll stick with depends on what is shown. If it's not much, screw it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you feel about Classic Plus if they changed how the game looked via Unreal Engine-esque graphics, lighting, polygon count? Huh. Like, I don't want Unreal Engine graphics. I don't even want, like, modern WoW graphics in, like, Classic. Like, I think that would suck. Personally. Like, maybe some lighting? You can mess with lighting a little bit. Maybe make some more ambient lighting and stuff like that. So maybe, like a 2? 2? I don't think they should really change much at all. Just leave it the way it is. It's good. That's why people play it. Modern WoW character models. From... No, it's not at all. Like, if I wanted to play, like, super crazy, smooth everything, I would just play retail. Which I do. I play both. They're both good for different reasons. You know, I'm going to play Midnight for the different reasons that I'm playing, you know, Burning Crusade Anniversary. They're totally different games. So, would I want to change the character? Nah. Leave them the way they are, dude. Leave them the way they are. I mean, I wouldn't quit if you touch the models. So we'll say a 2 or 3. We'll go with 3. We'll go with 3. That's fine. Modern WoW character animations. Keep it classic-y. But bouncing dwarves... Bouncing dwarves? I don't even know what the hell that means. Oh, just the way they... When they run, they bounce up and down? I don't even know. I never played dwarf. I've killed a few, though. I've seen them running. Their little stocky-ass legs. Just keep it classic, man. Keep the animations the way they are. Modern WoW... No. Spell effects, just keep them. Keep them the way they are. Modern WoW UI. Player and target frames, action bars, nameplates. Okay, so I can see some upgrades to the UI being a worthwhile thing. Yeah, sure. I could see that. 5 in the middle. I mean, some upgrades here and there could be nice. Why not? I'm picking a 5 because I want him to keep in the spirit of Classic. Alright? I don't want nothing too crazy. How would you like Blizzard to handle their server rollout? What do we have here? Many servers at launch, some PvP, some PvE, a couple RP like Vanilla Classic launched with. A condensed server list like in SOD with a consolidation happening over time. That might be a decent option. 1 mega PvP server with faction balance and force? No. This is dog shit. This is dog shit. If you play with people and you have friends, you do not want this. Like, okay, 4 of your buddies are Horde, right? You come in the game late for some reason, you had something going on, you're like, I'm gonna play some World of Warcraft with my friends. Can't create a character to play with your friends because they're on the wrong faction. Fuck that. Do not do that. That sucks. You just lost a player there, basically. You can't even play with your friends. Only 1 mega server, PvP, that lets players opt in and out from PvP. I do safe zones and towns war mode. Nah. I don't think that's the way to do it either. I think maybe, like, I think SOD did it okay. Like, let me choose PvP or PvE servers. And then, like, if people start falling off, you can just bring the servers together, right? I think that's, like, the way to do it. I just don't want to have, like, 50 different servers and every single one of them, minus, like, 3 or 4 are super heavily populated. Because that's what's going to happen anyways. If you make a shit ton of servers, people are going to get spread out, the world's going to be barren, and then you're going to have a couple mega servers anyways because everyone's going to be playing on those servers. Especially if you have streamers playing on those servers. Everyone's going to be just going nuts on those ones, and the other ones will just die off and have to get merged back together anyways. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers, resetting every couple years? I mean, that's probably fine, right? I mean, that's what they're doing right now. I mean, Fresh is a good part of the game. Don't reset the servers. Yeah, I mean, if the game is, like, getting old or stale and people are, like, not playing anymore, screw it, then bring in some fresh servers again. You know, run it back. Run it back. Who gives a shit? at that point. How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? So at launch, I think layers are good. Like you don't want so many layers though; they can get really annoying, especially if you're playing on a server for a reason, right? And if someone's like, "Yo, meet me in Goldshire in the inn," and if you walk into the Goldshire inn and your buddies in Discord like, "Where are you?" and you're like, "I'm standing at the bar," and they're like, "I'm standing at the bar too," and then you can't see them, that's annoying. Especially if like you're invited to a party and it takes a little while for the layers to adjust for them to shift you, right? I'd say I can see the reason for them, especially if the density of the players is so high. But I see layers are fine, but you want to like kind of get rid of layers as the game progresses too. Like try to eliminate them as soon as possible, especially after the rush of the game initially. You're not going to have people playing as often anyways. Section 2, we have in-game systems. Should the size of raids be reduced from 40? No, I'm not like a crazy huge raider. 40-man raids could be decent. They just can't be hard, right? So no, keep raids at 40, reduce required raid size, but implement fluctuating so we can bring more players, and challenge stays the same. That's a decent idea. I like that. That's kind of what SOD did. If you can't find a few people, it shouldn't be holding up everyone's time to wait around to try to like fill those extra last spots. No flexibility? Nah, not with no flexibility. Flexibility is the best option, I think. Especially for today's players. It lets you get in as quick as possible to do something, and that's what you want. You don't want to be waiting around. You don't want a waiting simulator. That's what retail is right now. Just AFKing in the city waiting for your keys to pop. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? No, yes, but only to group you. It's still up to you to get to travel. Yes, do it like it's done in Modern WoW by auto-grouping? Nah. Screw that. That's the waiting simulator I was just talking about. You don't want to be waiting around in Orgrimmar and everyone's just like AFK and then you get teleported where you go. I'd say travel to the open dungeon. That actually gets people out in the world. It gets people out in the world. It gets them going to the dungeons. If you're a new player and you're walking through the Barrens or somewhere and you see these cool players just running by you in a group and they all look sick as hell, like, it's those moments that make you want to play the game and progress. You want to be like, yo, I want to be like that guy. I remember the first time I saw a level 60 character. I was in Durotar and I was running to Razor Hill and I saw a level 60 undead mage. He was some reason he was in Razor Hill and he was just chilling doing some stuff and I'm like, bro, this guy looks sick. I want to be just like that guy eventually. And eventually I was able to get to that point. That's the whole point, to see sick shit that people have, and then you go out and you get that sick shit yourself, okay? It's the incentive. You want to look like a badass motherfucker, okay? That's why we play WoW. We want to look cool. Let's dress up for guys, and girls too, but man, we just want to look sick. Get some sick two-handed swords. Blow some shit up with some fireballs. That's what it's all about. Should summoning stones outside of dungeons and raids be implemented? I don't think they're necessary. I think that's the point. Like, grab yourself a warlock, right? Make warlocks great again. Get yourself a warlock buddy. You guys can run out as a team of 2 and you guys can go and summon some people, okay? Like, that's the way to do it. Get a warlock. Should there be heroic dungeons? Ooh, heroic dungeons. No, maybe. Depends on how they implement them. Yes. Maybe. I guess it depends on how they implement them, right? Yeah, I could see some heroic dungeons, maybe. Why not? I mean, they could always just not do them or get rid of them. Try something new. Should there be rated PvE in Classic Plus? Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels? No. No. No Mythic Plus. Mage Tower? I mean, something like that might be cool, where you can like maybe do specific challenges to get some kind of like neat cosmetic rewards. Might be cool, give you something to work towards. And as a primarily single player casual Andy, sometimes having those harder challenge where you can actually still feel like you're progressing a hard challenge but by yourself, I think it's a pretty fun thing to have. Prestige levels. No, I feel like if you do prestige levels, you're just kind of getting into the Azerite power stage. Look what happened to the honor levels. People just immediately glitched it and bugged it and had like 300 honor level. It was stupid as hell. Level 60 rating leaderboards. I would say no. I'm fine with like a mage tower challenge type thing, but the rest of it, go to retail, dude. If I want to play and have all these things, go to retail. Alright. Should there be rated PvP in Classic Plus? Rated Battlegrounds. Rated Battlegrounds could be fun. Nah, I don't want arenas though. Dueling leaderboards? No. I'm gonna do it, but I'm fine with the game having it. I think RBGs could be kind of cool, because the game is more balanced around team play as opposed to every single class having every single movement ability, CC. It's kind of, that's the way it is now. Everyone's got everything now, and it's kind of made all the classes lose a lot of their flavor. I'm gonna put no opinion for now. It's fine if there's like some RBGs, but I don't want the rest of the stuff. Should AoE looting be implemented? Why not? I think AoE looting's fine. It's literally just the quality of life thing, dude. Give me some QL. There's nothing wrong with quality of life stuff. If it's small like that. Yeah, I only have to run 20 feet over to the other, you know, leopard or whatever I just killed. An STV, the tiger. I can just loot it all in once. That's fine. Which features of World Boss would you want to see in Classic Plus? I hate world buffs, dude. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to play vanilla release after I got done leveling. I was just like, I don't want to have to go and do these chores to get these goddamn world buffs so that I can go do these easy raids anyways. Like, why? Just don't. It's just another barrier to entry. It's going to make people not want to play. So, no world buffs ever. World buffs don't belong in raids. How about that? Chrono Boon sucks. It doesn't suck. I guess it's a small buff if you want world buffs, but purchasable consumables like in Sod. That could be something. You know, if you can make people and you can augment the professions to give world buff equivalents if you don't have a world buff, so aka you don't have to wait around an Orgrimmar to get something. How about... Yeah, how about you just do that? You can make them slightly weaker, and I don't think they should be in rates. I think it's just another barrier of entry. Just give players some buffs. I mean, why do you think it switched over to flasks and, like, buff food? That's fine. Just give me, like, 2 things to worry about. How would you feel if Classic Plus trimmed the capabilities of add-ons and weak auras? I mean, dude, I don't even use add-ons outside of, like, questy details. If you're using all this other shit for Classic, I don't know. I don't think it really needs it, honestly. I don't really care. It doesn't really affect me. Like, if you like to have a shit ton of add-ons and stuff, that's whatever. I don't think Classic now even is that overwhelmed by weak auras. That's more retail's thing. Should mount level requirement be lowered? Yeah. They should drop it down to the level 30 like they're doing right now. Unless that's what they mean, but I don't think you should have to wait till level 40 to get a damn crown mount. Seems a little stupid, you know. But hey, whatever. Should flying mounts be implemented? Nope. Nope. They should not. That's again taking away from a portion of the world where everyone is just flying around. You never see anyone walking. You never see anyone going to dungeons. You're either flying around A to B in retail, or you're just waiting in a city, waiting to get teleported to whatever instance or stupid shit you queued for. Okay? So, no, I don't think that should be a thing. Let people walk on the ground. Let people see each other. Let people know that there's stuff going on in the world. As an MMORPG, the massively multiplayer should be in the game, right? Yeah, flying mount, it doesn't seem right. It makes the world seem smaller. Your sense of exploration seems smaller as well. I don't like it. I don't like it. Should guild banks be implemented? Sure, you can have guild banks. I don't see why not. You want to have a guild bank with your buddies? Everyone can throw stuff into the guild bank, some materials. I think that's fun. Like, one of your buddies is an herbalist. One of your guys is a leather worker, a skinner. They can all go out and gather everything they want. They can throw it in the guild bank. I think that's a good idea. Exactly. Like, we're not trying to make classic retail. Like, they're totally different games. Should Classic Plus have achievements? Nah. No achievements, dude. Fuck achievements. We do not want achievements. Like I said, now we're in such a state of achievement delusion. You know, like I said, people have 20 to 40 plus thousand achievement points. Nobody gives a shit. You know, sometimes it shows, you know, how long a player's been doing something. But if you actually implement achievements, it should be like legitimate achievements. Like, oh, you killed this boss, or you were able to do X hard thing. They're actually achievements. It's not, I had 10 pet battles. I collected 30 monkey pets, or some stupid shit like that. No. I'm gonna say no. It gives you a loop to do some stuff, the achievements, but I don't think it's a good gameplay loop, personally. Just achievement hunting. Just fetch quests, it's check the box. If I wanted dailies, I'd do dailies. Should reputations be streamlined / made easier to level? Be streamlined. Like retail? Like it's just a huge bar? Or are they just more straightforward? Yeah, seeing other people in the world is why people like Classic. It's populated, there's stuff going on, you can see people doing shit. That's what you want. As far as reps, I don't really know what they mean by streamline. I think it's make it more like... I mean, they could change the UI to be more intuitive, maybe. Made easier to level? I don't think they should be made easier to level. Like, having grinds in games isn't necessarily a bad thing. Look at RuneScape. Look at OSRS, for example. The whole game is just a huge grind, mainly. And people love it. It gives them something to do over time. Like, let me beat the piss out of the gem crab for a week straight to level my strength if I want. Why not? Let me do what I want to do. Okay? If you want to level it up over the course of a year, go ahead. It gives you something to work towards, right? The thing is, though, when you have stuff like that, you got to make sure that what you level up doesn't get invalidated by future content. Okay? Like RuneScape is doing it right. Guild Wars 2 is also doing it right, too. It's that horizontal content. It's not like, oh, a new patch came out. All the work I did grinding that gem crab is now gone. It was useless. No, everything that you put into the game is still relevant and valid, whether you play now or whether you jump in, you know, a year from now, right? Like, it's had value, and it should retain that value, I think, going forward. How do you feel about adding Transmog to Classic Plus? Nope. Transmog bad, Transmog good, I don't care, no opinion. I'm gonna go with Transmog bad. So in retail, I do like Transmog, now that it's been in the game and in the system for years and years. But a part of me really misses, like, whatever goofy piece of gear I'm wearing at the time. Like, it should be on my character for everyone to see. I can't hide that, right? That was one of the reasons people went and got really sick looking stuff back in the day, because they could show it off. You couldn't transmog it, right? I can't make it look like I'm a mythic raider. But back in the day, like, you knew who was doing the raiding, you knew who was doing the cool shit because your gear showed that. I think they should leave that as it is, especially if they make some really cool looking sets and some new armor and stuff. Should a separated collections inventory be implemented? Toys and mounts? Yeah, that's fine. They can add like the toy box. They can add like a little mount tab. I don't see any reason. That's just another quality of life thing, I think. Which is totally chill. Why not? Clear up the bags a little bit. No one wants dirty bags of toys they're not going to use, so they just stick in the bank and never touch again anyways. Let people play with their stuff. Right? Yeah. Should Classic Plus allow GDKPs? I don't think so. I mean, it gives you a reason to go out and farm gold, but I think it mainly just gives people a reason to go out and buy gold. Anyways, this kind of back alley transactions are going to happen regardless of whether we like it or not, right? You know, and I don't think advertising it and going to a raid just to pay a bunch of gold is really that great of a thing. So I'm going to say no. I think that kind of takes away a little bit from the spirit of Classic. You know, I know some really hardcore Andes just like farming gold off of people who just buy gold from the Chinese and then they just give it to them, but I think it's stupid, personally. Should the level cap ever be increased from 60? Ooh. No, never. Depends how long after launch. Would have to see. Sure, and no opinion. I'm between either no, never, or depends how long after launch. Would have to see. Like, eventually, maybe if Classic Plus turns out to be awesome, and they want to, like, increase the levels, like, say to 65, and give, like, a few new things, that could be kind of fun. But at the same time, I'm thinking to OSRS and also Guild Wars 2, to where that progression is more linear, and you're not removing the progress you made. And whenever you add a higher level cap, you're kind of eliminating some of the progress that you've made. Drop frames. Let me see. I was on a rant too. I was on a roll. Either you have to let me know if it keeps continuing or not. But yeah. Where was I? Level to 60? Possibly good. But I think Guild Wars 2 is doing it right, and I think OSRS is doing it right, not invalidating the progress that you make over the course of your progression. That's so nice. Like, I was playing OSRS for so long, and I just stopped. Alright, next section, the world. Section 3, the world. Should Classic Plus have new zones? Yeah. Well, okay, I see what it's saying. Keep the zones and just expand on that? Yes, please. Well, they could expand on the zones, but then they could also eventually make new zones. But they should keep it within Azeroth. They should keep it within the same world. Don't send me to outer space, dude. Like, Outland, I guess Outland is outer space, so Outland was kind of fine at the time. But we've done that. We've gone to all the other worlds. We've gone to all the other dimensions, okay? Let me explore the world that I love. Let me explore just Azeroth. Okay. Let me explore Azeroth. Now, I think Classic Plus should have new zones eventually. I think that'd be a good idea, honestly. You know, expand on the original zones. Cool. Expand on the original zones. Right? We can do that. and explore that for as long as we can, okay? Like, just add some cool shit in the world. And if we eventually exhaust that, then add some cool zones, but make them in Azeroth. Like, add some cool islands. You could redo some of the other zones. I think we should go that route instead. If yes, where in Azeroth or beyond would you be okay with these zones to be? Let me see. Only on the main 2 continents, anywhere on Azeroth. Anywhere on Azeroth and any other planet / dimension is fine, e.g. Outland, Draenor, Argus, Koresh. I'd say anywhere on Azeroth. Anywhere on Azeroth is chill. Don't, like I said, don't be making this some weird out-of-planar bullshit, some other dimension stuff. Like, you want to keep the problems, you want to keep the war local. Bring the war back to Warcraft, people, okay? We want to make it fun. We want to make the world alive. We want to keep the people in the same world for as long as possible. I think that's the course we should stick with. Should new content be added for leveling? Quests, low-level zones, dungeons. New content to be added for leveling. Low-level zones. I mean, yeah, eventually. If you make, like, new races, say you introduce, like, some sort of, like, high elf or some other weird race at the time, I think they should have a leveling zone. They could have some dungeons. Why not? It's Classic Plus, right? If I just wanted to do the basic leveling experience again and again, then I could do that, but I could play the normal Classic. Then again, is Classic Plus to some people only an endgame thing? I'm also wondering that now. For me, it would be like doing a complete overhaul. Not a complete overhaul, but in the spirit of Classic, overhauling and adding some things to the game, right? Not taking things away, just adding more things with the Classic vibe to Classic. That's Classic Plus for me. Okay. Should leveling be sped up? No. I think the leveling pace is good. And honestly, leveling is like half the game for majority of people who play Classic. That's one of the reasons I play, right? If I want to sit down after a long day, you know, I just get back from the gym and I'm just wanting the chill, man. I can crack a beer, have a protein shake, maybe not in that order, and just sit down and like grind a few levels here and there, okay? I don't have to sit there and queue up for like a dungeon and spend an hour doing it. I can go do a single quest, give me a Veta boy, and go back to town, turn it in, and I'm done for the day if I want to be. I think that's the way to go. And it can take a while. Progress can take a while. That's an okay thing to happen, okay? Should there be more class-specific quests? No new class-specific quests. Yes, but only to unlock abilities to spells like Warlocks, Demons, or Priests. Like Warlock had their Green Fire quest. You know, Warriors had their Whirlwind Axe type thing. I think class-specific quests are awesome, personally. They add flavor to the game. They hype you up if you roll a certain class. Like I said, Warrior, to get that Whirlwind Axe, you get some buddies, man. You go out there, you kill those elementals, dude. You feel like a badass getting that shit, okay? Same with, like, getting your mounts with your Warlock or Paladin. I think, honestly, all... Okay, the class quest for Shaman Totems can be annoying. Not gonna lie. You're going all over the place for those things, but, you know, at least it adds flavor and makes each playthrough slightly different if you're gonna level a new character. 100% add more class stuff, I think. Especially if you can get some cool cosmetic stuff. Give Warlock some more Green Fire and Classic Plus, man. Make a cool quest for that. Make it look like Classic Green Fire, but why not, man? Who cares? Should there be more epic quest lines? Rock Dalar, Scepter of the Shifting Sands. To be honest, I've never even done any of these. Okay? I've never done these. And at least that I can think of. But I think for people who want to do them, send it, dude. Send it. I think, I mean, I've done a lot of the legendary quests, you know, and retail, Shadowmoor, and all the other legendaries. I've got quite a few of those, but yeah, man, add some long quests. Give people a reason to grind out some stuff. Tie them to some crazy rep grinds. Who gives a shit? Give people a reason to go to the world and grind out some XP, grind out some rep. I think that's the way to do it. Why not? Yeah, Classic Plus do add some more replayability, and it just adds some class flavor too, right? Everyone wants to make a character that is more lean towards what they want to be, and if you have more options to give that flavor, whether it's just cosmetic or a cool new weapon or something for another 5 to 10 levels, let them have it, man. Let them have it. Now, which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus to old raids? I prefer the old raids exactly how they were, easy. Tune them as needed for any change in player power, but keep the spirit of the original game. Add more complex, difficult mechanics. Do all the above plus add new bosses and areas within them. Add complexity to the raids. Honestly, I don't think they should add too much complexity. I think people like to play Classic because they can just kind of show up, and as long as they're not acting totally dumb, they could actually get some kills on bosses and actually get some loot. They put in some time and they can get a reward, right? Because no one likes to put in time nowadays and not get anything out of it. Blade power. Honestly, I think they should keep them easy. I think they should keep them easy. Especially for like a first raid tier or so. Because it gets people into the game. Like, not everyone's playing World of Warcraft to be a super sweaty. If you want to be super sweaty, come hang out in Mythic Plus. We can do that too, alright? There's already a version of the game for the super sweaties. Classic, I don't think is meant to be that. If you want to go and parse, go ahead and try to get your legendary parses, but that's something you can do on your own. Should there be new raids? No. Yes, but only stuff that already exists in the original Azeroth, e.g. Kara, Grim Patrol. Yes. Proposed raids that have already existed in the world, plus create some new interesting content like Scarlet Enclave. I think yes. Classic Plus, make more stuff, alright? Keep it in the spirit of Classic, but make more of it. Yeah, I am thinking about you trying to raid, and that's why I think they should be easy. But you'd be able to pick it up. You're a gamer. You'd pick it up. You just don't want to make the barrier to entry so high that no one wants to play the game. That's the thing. Like, everyone, like, the hardest part is getting enough people together to do the raid in Classic, right? Once you got enough people, it's pretty face roll. Alright, section 4. The player. Should Classic Plus have new playable races? And if so, which of the following categories would be acceptable? Check all that apply. Any races from future WoW expansions? New playable races that already exist in WoW Azeroth? Completely new races never seen in Azeroth? No new races. Keep the original 8. The thing is, if you do any of the races from the future WoW expansions, you'd have to make new, old character models for them to keep it in the spirit of Classic, right? You know, like, you already have the old Blood Elf models, that's good, but anything more than that, getting a little iffy, okay? And, like, you don't need to add all of them in, right? Like, you're not going to add Haranir to Classic Plus. I guess you could. Maybe you could. I don't know. Figure out a way to do that type of thing. Add some ogres. Why not? Completely new races never seen in Azeroth. Screw it. Sure. Why not? Add some new stuff. Maybe there's something on the other side of the world they haven't seen. Who knows? It's Classic Plus. Should Classic Plus have new classes? No, yes, but only classes added in other WoW expansions. Death Knight Monk, Demon Hunter, Evoker. I think, yeah, why not? Like I said, if I wanted to play normal classic, I would just play normal classic. If I want to play retail, I could do that too. Add some wonky classes in. But like I said, as long as it fits in the spirit of the original game. Right? Add some cool stuff. That's why people want to play Classic Plus, I think. That's why I want to play Classic Plus. Should new race as class combos be added? No, the original combinations are iconic. Don't touch them. Yes, but only stuff within the lore that makes sense and keeps factions races feeling unique. I think that's the best option. Allow any race to be any class? Nah, I don't think that really makes a lot of sense, does it? I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. Although I've always wanted Night Elf Paladins, and they've never given me my Night Elf Paladins. It's pissed me off for 20 years. 20 years it's pissing me off. I need to add that soon. I don't know if any class being anything would be... Like having a Troll Paladin, an Orc Paladin. Bruh, I don't know about all that. I don't think that makes any sense to me, personally. Should the Horde have Paladins and Alliance Shamans? I think so. Why not, right? I think it fits. Like, a Dwarf being a Shaman, I think fits. You know, the Draenei can be Shamans, that fits. Obviously, you have the Blood Elf Paladins, that makes sense. That's already in the game. It basically feels like Classic. Burning Crusade basically feels like Classic, right? Should classes be reworked? New base abilities and spells, class role combinations, etc. No, vanilla classes have distinct class fantasies that make each playthrough unique. Some quality of life adds, totemic recall protection, and warlock summoning gate. Combo point persistence would be nice, but don't fix what ain't broke. Some new abilities, some new spells that modernize abilities. E.g. Red Paladins, just don't completely change them. Yeah, I think so. I feel like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But for the ones that are broke, you could go and fix it. It's not that hard. Give them a filler spell. Give them Divine Storm. Like Lich King. Give them Crusader Strike. Okay? Make them at least viable to play. You don't want to have a single spec that is totally fucking useless in the game. Okay? What's the point? What's the point? Make them at least... They don't need to be the best. Okay? You don't need to add all this extra stuff. Just make them viable for a person to play who wants to play that class fantasy. I think that makes total sense. Of the following, what is the most important change needed to raid buffs in Classic Plus? You may want to pick multiple, but only pick your biggest concern. This question refers to 1 hour long buffs, not Paladin blessings. We'll ask about raid buffs more later. Raid buffs should cost less mana. Raid buffs should no longer require reagents. Raid buffs should be single cast raid wide. Raid buffs should be combined so multiple classes can buff different things. I don't even remember that in Lich King, if I'm being honest with you. No, leave it as wasn't a vanilla. I don't think they should require reagents for raid buffs. I think it's just adding an extra thing like, oops, I forgot my acorns, I can't cast something, or I don't have my tomes of whatever, I don't know. Like, reagents just seem kind of silly. Raid buffs should be single cast raid wide. I don't see why not. Like, it's just making you click more things on, like, the groups, right? I think that's fine. Okay. Should talent specializations be reworked? No, somewhat, but only with a light touch. Absolutely, I want to see reworks across the board. Ooh, this one's tough. Because it would be cool just to see all sorts of different stuff redone, right? But I think to keep the spirit of Classic, only some just need like a light touch, right? Like Ret. And other specs maybe need just like Boomies and stuff like that. Just give them a little light little twinge. I think that'd be perfect. Should a fourth new talent specialization be added for classes like Guardian Druid, Tank Shaman? See, I guess if you're gonna do it, that's the way to do it. Just add a completely new talent tree that's just like totally different. Like, if you want to play the same thing you've always played, that's pretty much going to stay that way, pick that. But if you want to be a completely new spec, then maybe like a paladin who throws like lightning spears. I don't know, random shit like that, like a ranged paladin. No new talent specs, yes, but limited to hybrid classes with roles that didn't get fleshed out in vanilla. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I like trying new stuff. Give everyone a 4th talent tree. It might be a little easier than adding completely just new classes over the course of time. Or maybe not, I don't know, it depends. Depends on balance. Should every spec be competitive in both PvE and PvP? No. We're not going to make this retail. I don't think every spec should be viable in all scenarios. That's where we're at now, and that's where everything got homogenized and just made one big soup of everything's the same. It's just a different coat of paint. Not in most cases, but vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Those classes could use a bit of love. Agreed with that. No, not every specs need to be perfectly raid. Overtuning for PvE balance could break PvP. Everything's unbalanced anyways. I'm going to put that one. Not in most cases. I think that's a good one. It's either that one or this one. And I think, yeah, some of the hybrids definitely could use some love so that they're actually viable in that setting. Should dual spec be implemented? Yeah. It's an easy quality of life thing. QL. Why not? Add dual spec. It's not that hard. Should new professions be added? Shit, why not, man? Add some logging in. Let me cut down some trees. I already yearn for the mines. Let your boy cut down a few trees every now and then too, okay? I think that's the way to go. Should professions be updated to have more endgame relevance? Yeah, make the professions relevant, right? Why not? Adding more stuff to get people to do, to work towards, is never a bad thing. I am not a robot. Submit. End of survey. Oh, wow. There was a lot of survey to be had, huh? Curious to what the world survey is about now. Oh, we got some lore. Uh-oh. Let's see how much of this lore I can remember about my time playing the game. Classic Plus survey lore. How would you rate the story as a whole in vanilla WoW? The story in vanilla WoW. Oops. How would you rate the story as a whole in vanilla WoW? I don't really know much of the story. Like, I do. I know, like, some story bits, but I don't really know, like, the whole... It's not, like, one overarching story, right? Like, I know of, like, the Defias questline a little bit. Up into the Dead Mines, I think that's alright, but... I think I've been programmed as a WoW player just to not read... just to not read right. Just to not read any of the quest text and just accept it and to go out and kill the 10 boars and run back. I think the story's probably good. I just don't really know. So I'm gonna give it like a 5. 5 or 6. It's probably decent, right? Do you feel Classic WoW does a good job explaining the story it's telling? E.g. conveying threats, dropping clues, establishing conclusions. Like, I think they drop clues and stuff, but I honestly, I barely know who anyone really is. I think that's a fair answer, honestly, because I don't really, I mean, I do, but I don't. I know who some of the bosses are, I know who some of the prominent characters are, but I don't really know their backgrounds or story a whole lot. I know, like, Arthas, right? If we're talking Wrath, Then the Wrath story is a little different, right? Everyone knows the Wrath story. That was engaging. Doing like the culling of Stratholme, all that kind of stuff. That was peak. I think the story really starts picking up and being better in Burning Crusade. We have some of the backstories like rescuing or in like old Hillsbrid and stuff like that. That kind of stuff. I think that does a good job of storytelling. Is when you actually play it. You play through the adventure that way. Having to read text to figure out the story in the game, not optimal in my opinion. What's the best major story told in Classic WoW by Blizzard? Mancrook's Wife? Best story?
What?
Like the Anixia questline, maybe? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I'm putting it in IDK. I just don't know. Straight up. What is the worst story you're aware of told in Classic WoW? Also, I don't know. Worst story? I guess the worst story is the one I never knew or bothered to pay attention to, so I guess that's an issue. Should Caverns of Time be added as a tool for more dungeon raids lore? I really think they should use it more, honestly. A lot of the most memorable stories that I do remember are told through the Caverns of Time. Having the Hyjal raid, for example. That was awesome. Culling of Strat, you know, going with Arthas. Another amazing story. That's peak storytelling right there. Should minor factions / reputations be expanded on? Check all you'd be interested in seeing get a bigger part in the lore of the game. The Gelkis Amalgam Centaurs. I don't think they really deserve that much. They're just kind of stupid centaurs out there just killing each other. I don't really see any... I mean, I guess you could build some lore off of that, but... I like Defias. The Ogre clans are kind of cool. Syndicate, Cenarian Circle, Argent Dawn, The Brood. Chandrilar. Is the Chandrilar the Night Elves in Silithus? Darkmoon Pharisik. Zandalar Tribe. Maybe. Bloodsail Buccaneers are cool. Ventricle. Ravenhole. Frostbane Trolls, I don't really... Thorian Brotherhood. I'm sick of the Infinite Dragonflight, if I'm being honest with you. Fuck the Infinite Dragonflight. Keep that on retail. Adraxian Waterlords, no. Timbermaw Hold. They're kind of neat, right? They're just like the Furbolgs. They're a little bit different. They're up there in their little huts and logs. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing a little more about them. Steamweedle, more goblin stuff. Meh. Is it important to you if the story told in Classic Plus leads from phase to phase in a cohesive way? No, I don't care about the story whatsoever. It's not a big deal to me how the story is told or when. Definitely, I want to be invested. Honestly, I don't care. I don't mind when it's segmented, honestly. It's like, here's a patch. We're going in a completely different direction for this. I'm like, okay, we're mixing things up. It's a nice breath of fresh air. It's not like we're killing demons in this patch. And then we're killing bigger demons, but they're a different color. And then for the final patch, you're killing more demons. They look the same, but now they're a different color, and there's more of them, and they're more powerful. Like, that's just kind of samey. Gets annoying. I'm going to say it's not a big deal to me when or how the story is told. Should each phase or cluster of phases conclude a storyline before picking up a new arc, or can stories run concurrently? I'm fine if stories run concurrently, dude. I like to mix things up. You don't need to run through one thing continuously and just beat it to death. That's basically what we're dealing with now, and I don't really like it, honestly. Yeah, I think it's fun bouncing around the different threads. Keeps things new, keeps things fresh. And I think that'd be really good for Classic Plus. That's kind of what Classic is anyways, right? You bounce around all these different zones, mix it up a little bit, get the feel for stuff. Which of the following villains, major enemies in WoW, would you consider having a compelling story? Choose up to 5. Hager. I think Onyxia has a compelling story. Nefarian's pretty cool. I can only pick 5, so Arthas is definitely number 1. Where's our boy Illidan? Lady Vash. I like Kel'Thas' story. And I also like Kel'Thuzad. I don't know who Sally Whitemane is. I kind of remember the name. Kil'jaeden. I always like the Van Cleef stuff. These would be my picks. These are some top picks. There's probably a couple other good ones in there, but... Anything else you'd like to mention about the lores of Danes of Classic Plus? Nah. Not that I can think of. I don't know. IDK. Ooh, that was just one survey. Ooh. 1 out of 5. So I got the intro and 1 out of 5 world surveys done. This is quite the long haul of a survey, dude. Quite the long haul for a survey. Let's start number 2. Let's go. Wait. Dungeon survey? Let's do dungeon survey. Fuck it. I do a lot of classic or Mythic Plus. That's like my main bread and butter nowadays. Let's take a look at this dungeon survey. Pick the top 3 dungeons you enjoy leveling in Classic WoW. Classic WoW dungeon leveling, huh? Dead Mines. I'm just reading through all of them. Scarlet Monastery is always top tier too. Cathedral. And Armory. I think that's right for me. The other ones are pretty good. Like ZF's pretty decent. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna go in his ZF. There's some other decent ones in here too, like BRD. Pretty neat. But your boy can spend a whole lot of times doing some other ones. I like Shadowfang Keep too, actually, but keep it pushing. I'll pick the top 3 dungeons you think need major revamping. Revamps, huh? I think No More's just confusing as fuck, dude. For most people, especially if you're new. Wailing Caverns, Maraudon is kind of just weird. Black Fathom Deep's is kind of lame. I don't even know what the Temple of Atalakar is. That's a dungeon? Huh. Beats me. I guess we'll hit that one. At launch, given a finite amount of developer resources, should more effort be put into creating entirely new dungeons or improving old dungeons? New dungeons will be more fun to experience at launch. Yeah, I think new dungeons. Like, everyone's just kind of, I feel like, accepted the old ones. Like, if they had time to go back and maybe make some tweaks, do it, but just make some new ones, dude. Make some new experiences. Like, putting a different boss or fixing some routing at some of the old dungeons will just kind of be like, whatever, I guess, fine, you did that, cool, but having new dungeons for people to explore, way more important for Classic Plus, I think. Should more open world dungeons and quests associated with be added? Think areas like Jadanar in Felwood, Stormguard in Arathi, or Dark Whisper Gorge in Winterspring. I think Jadanar is annoying as hell. I don't like the clusterfuck of that. I think having some cool zones like that is nice. Some elites. Open world dungeons are boring. I can take any number of friends in there and destroy them. Yeah, but I think the fact that you need friends to go in there can be kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't like a ton of areas like that, but I think some areas that are more dangerous or tough where you can't tackle that on your own is a real good thing, okay? I wouldn't mind them adding some more of those. Not a lot, but a few. World dungeons are cool and make the world feel alive and full of mystery. Add lots more of them. I don't necessarily think they'll be ignored. The thing is, if you have a good player base and you have people to do things with, that's not going to be an issue. It's when everyone's moved on from there and level up already and done things. If you have a reason for people to be around those higher level areas, maybe the ore you get or the leather is better there or something. I don't know. Like giving people a reason to stay around there so you can find people to group up with. I think that's the optimal way. How do you feel about rare spawns inside of dungeons? Rare spawns are annoying. If you want an item off one, I have to enter it, mind vision to scout to see if it's spawned, and then leave it and reset if it isn't there. Waste of time. I'm about to sneeze. Rare spawns are cool, but just make them always spawn. They're not rare if I can scout ahead of time. I mean, that's only if you have like a certain class, right? You can do the scouting with. Like if you have a priest or hunter with eagle eye or a shaman with that farsight totem. Those are only a few of the classes that can do that type of thing, right? Like you have to have one of them in your group to see that. Rare spawns aren't exciting, and I think they're fun. I like rare spawns, honestly. If you want to sit there all day and like try to farm a rare spawn, more power to you, dude. But that's your choice. You know, that's your choice. I think having them in there adds some flavor and like, oh, that's here. Let's kill him while we're here, you know? It has a chance to maybe drop something neat, something rare. I think that's fun. How do you feel about lockout caps? Lockout caps are critically important to prevent OP classes from farming certain enemies, keep them in the game, 5 per hour. I mean, lockout caps, I don't really care, honestly. Like, some people, like, if you want to mage farm something, that's up to you. I don't know if it really prevents spawning at all. I feel like they've just found workarounds for that shit, so I don't really care either way. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to be doing that. How do you feel about dungeons having a rotating or random boss spawn with specific loot? E.g. Ring of Law in BRD, Edge of Madness boss in Zilgarub. I think they can be fun, but I don't think they should... That's tough. Like, in dungeons, it's not as bad because you could always try to run it back. But if it's like a raid with a weekly lockout, and you don't get the boss you want, or you miss that week, you feel kind of silly about it. Maybe if there was a way to like bad luck protection or something, like if you killed a certain amount of bosses, you get like a token, and then if you turn those tokens in eventually, you could pick the loot from the table eventually. So it's not like, oh, if you missed that boss that week, you're screwed for like another 4 weeks or something like that. I think they had a fun variety. As long as they add like something like that into the game, I think it could be pretty cool to have. Should there be Heroic Dungeon in Classic Plus? You know what? I think there should be. I think having heroic versions of like SFK or, you know, Dead Mines is not a bad thing, as long as they're not crazy hard. I don't know if anyone remembers playing Cataclysm on launch. Yo, Maddie Sprout, I got your cat. I got your kitty. But Cataclysm on launch had insanely hard heroic dungeons, and they were kind of fun. If you had a good group, they were kind of fun. They were extremely punishing, though. If you didn't CC the right 2 or 3 things, you were kind of boned. But I do remember having some good memories of doing those dungeons. As long as the loot is worth the, you know, is the lemon worth the squeeze? Let's put it that way. Should there be Mythic Plus style dungeon ladders and progression? No. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. We don't want Mythic Plus style dungeon ladders and progression in Classic Plus. If you want Classic Plus, go play retail, okay? That's what I'm going to do. If I want a Classic Plus, I'll just play retail. I prefer that type of play for that anyways, alright? It's designed around that anyways nowadays. Like, you don't want to have that in Classic Plus. Should certain bosses or areas be locked behind requiring a specific class of profession in your dungeon group? AJ Rogue unlocking a door. Druid communing with an animal ECT. For a dungeon? You know, maybe that could be fun. Like, it's nice to have a class that feels like it's needed for something, right? So if it's nothing too wild or crazy, like if it's like one, maybe like a rare spawn guy, he's just like behind a door that a rogue can lockpick, it kind of gives you those cool, badass moments where you're like, I'm glad I rolled a rogue, right? I could pick through that door. Where otherwise they wouldn't be able to do that. It's nice to feel needed and wanted for something, right? Should player power chase items be extremely low drop rate items in dungeons, or should those only be cosmetic drops? Ooh. Player power farming is annoying. It feels like I've never gotten them. Just remove them. It's kind of fun to have something to chase, even if the chance I get it is super small. I think having items like that is the way to go, honestly. I think having cool stuff that you might never have a chance of getting is kind of fun. As long as it's not like necessity to get that item, I think having just a chance at getting the item can be pretty cool. It's like you go through ZF and then you randomly get the sword, right? Or both pieces so you can combine it. Like, that's pretty cool. I think it's fun. I think it's nice. Should there be solo challenges? Delves, Mage Shower, ETC, and Classic Plus. No, this type of content turns MMOs into single-player RPGs. I won't do it. I'm not sure others think it's fun. This content is BIS. Yes, please. Definitely not BIS content. I think I don't mind Mage Tower stuff. I don't know, because I would do it, but also I don't think that it's also great at the same time. For Classic Plus, though, I don't think they should add it in, necessarily. Should Dungeon Finder be implemented? If so, teleports you to dungeon only, or groups you and travel is up to you. Yes, but only as an in-game UI to assist forming groups. Auto-forming, but I still have to travel to the instance. I think just giving the players a platform to make their groups and then to go there themselves is the way to go. Like, I don't think you need auto-form groups, necessarily. Like, the way it works for Mythic Plus, kind of in retail, is fine. And I think for SOD, they did it the same way. Let me form up a group, let me find players, and then let the players go and run through the world to get to where they want to go. Should summoning stones outside of dungeons raids be implemented? Honestly, no. Like I said, bring a Warlock. Make Warlocks great again, dude. Like, that's fine. Like, otherwise, fly around, Hearthstone, get a Mage port. You know, let the classes do some cool class stuff. Let a Warlock be valuable for their summoning portals, right? Boom. We have some more to go. Alright, quests and leveling surveys next. Let's pop off with that. How do you feel about the leveling cadence of vanilla World of Warcraft? Average 120 to 160 hours to level cap. It's too slow. I'd want Classic Plus to speed up leveling to get to the endgame activities faster. It's just right. It's too quick. Extend it out so that hitting cap takes months and months. I don't know if I'd want to spend months and months leveling up a character to cap. I think it's just fine where it is. Don't mess with it. Don't change it. Leave it as it is. Should Classic Plus have phased level caps that raise over time until we eventually hit 60? Like in SOD. No. No. I think that having the breaks in SOD is what killed the damn thing. Because people would just like get to that level cap, do whatever dungeon there was, and then it'd be like another couple months before anything was even coming out. Like, I think that sucked. I think that actually sucked. Rank these quest types in terms of how much you like them, with one being your favorite type, and type of loving being your least favorite. Oh my god. My favorite types of quest. 1 being your favorite type and 11 being your least favorite. Okay. Kill a specific raid boss. Discover this location. Kill X number of enemies. Classic. Just let me kill shit. Right? I don't want to be thinking too much while I'm doing it. The X number of items. I hate escort quests suck. Quest objective isn't fully explained. You need to figure it out. No, that sucks too. An enemy dropped a quest item that begins a new quest. That's kind of cool. Discover this location. I don't even know what kind of quest that is, but that could be a good quest. It gets you to go over there. Fetch this item from this place and bring it back to me. That could be decent. That's in the similar vein. Just delivery quests. Got a specific raid boss. That's kind of more niche since you're not really doing a whole lot of that. It's more like endgame quest stuff for certain items. Time limits are never fun. Craft X number of things. These all suck. All these last 4 are absolutely dog water. I guess escort. Craft. I mean, I don't really care about these last 4 if I'm being honest with you. Nobody likes time limits, though. Nope. Do you feel like the flow of quests in Vanilla WoW leads you from zone to zone in a natural way? Yes, I've always got some new zones to check out. I think it does a pretty good job, actually. It's like, yo, deliver this thing to some other continent somewhere. Like, I'm going to go there when I want, regardless of what the quest is, but at least gives you the idea of now you might be the appropriate level range to go do that quest. So that can be kind of nice. I think that's pretty good. There are some gaps, but generally, I'd say there's a few little gaps, but it does flow reasonably well. Should there be more quest hubs within existing zones? Maybe a couple more quest givers in some of the more remote areas, right? Yes, quest hubs are exciting. Additions that fill in the world with interesting content. You know what? I do like quest hubs. You can put some cool shit in those, too. I think that's a good idea. Honestly. Anything? How do you feel about puzzle quests that are more complicated to complete than kill 10 boars? Do you Captain Sanders' Hidden Treasure in Westfall or Quadrangulation from SOD? I don't know if I remember that one. These quests are too complicated. They should be simplified and clearly stated instead of requiring puzzle solving. The thing is with these is that it's not even puzzle solving anymore. Like, once one person on the internet figures it out, it's just going to be a guide on YouTube. Like, it's just going to make you have to leave the game to come back into the game to solve the quest, right? And I don't think that's necessarily a great thing. Like, maybe a few here or there is fine, just don't do it too often, right? Like, if there's a cool reward for like a long, weird quest chain, people are just going to find it out online. That's the way it is. How do you feel about repeatable quests in general? Repeat turn dailies? Nah, fuck dailies, dude. I don't want to even think about doing dailies for the rest of my life. Reputation turn-ins? No, like a rep daily or like a PvP daily is fine, but I don't want to have to grind rep dailies. Like, I'd rather just sit there and be like, oh, if you kill this creature, you get plus 10 rep to that thing. And I could sit there for 10 hours one day if I want and just grind it. Like, I have the insane title. I don't mind the grind. I'll sit there and kill stuff. But I don't want to be like, oh, you do 4 quests, now you got to come back tomorrow. I hate that FOMO type stuff. That sucks. I don't like them. Should there be daily, weekly world quests? Now, the way retail WoW does world quests does not fit in what I think. Yeah, the world quests in the retailers, they suck. Like, they don't really make you feel like you're doing anything. They just feel like a chore, too. Oh, go kill the world boss to get 60 Valor Stones. Congratulations. Do they get out in the world? I mean, if they offer you something that's worthwhile, they can get you out in the world. Yeah, I think world quests are fine as long as they aren't a massive chore list. Every day / week. Like, yeah, keep it lean. I like that. We gotta keep it lean, baby. Should every class get more class quests on top of their already existing ones? No, I don't like the idea of being locked out of quest lines. Ones that exist are fine, but don't add more. Yes, but only unlock ability spells. Dude, I think add as many as you want. I think these add flavor to the game. What's wrong with more flavor to the game? Let people give some random quests for different classes, okay? Like, those can be the hook to get you to play a whole new different class sometimes, and it adds flavor. Keep adding them. Give me more. Give me more. How do you feel about group quests while leveling? Group quests are annoying. I don't want to earn up my session by having to look for help to kill something. Group quests are fine as long as they aren't too numerous. It should be able to look up most stones without needing to group up. I think that's fine. Having a few here and there is good. Should a quest reward gear be buffed? Quest reward gear? I don't think it needs to be buffed. Yeah, maybe it should have some of the items a bit more itemized for more classes than going for levels and levels without any sort of tangible gear upgrades. Or like having no options to pick from. I think having some options to pick from for gear is a good idea. Should attunements be streamlined and made easier? I think attunements are fine, right? Should cut out the aggressive travel sections. I'm in the middle. You can cut out some of the more tedious stuff, but I don't mind doing some of the more of the grinds. Should attunements be account wide? Yeah, I think that should be easier. Like, once you get attuned once, I think that should be enough. I think that's fine. Or maybe a shorting quest line. But what's the point at that point? Like, if you're just gonna get a fetch quest to go from A to B on the all anyways, like, why? Just have it unlocked on your account or some shit. Make it a lot easier. How would you feel if Classic Plus had prestige levels, where you could level above 60, but gained no player power? No prestige levels. I think that's kind of silly. Like, I don't really see the point in that, right? Like, what are you just gonna go out and grind mobs for no reason or just go kill things? I don't really see the point. Like, I guess if it's just for cosmetic stuff, I guess it could give you another reason, like show you, oh, this is how long this guy's been playing. It's like Call of Duty. How many times? Oh, he prestiged 30 times? This guy's a mad lad. Maybe it could be alright. I don't know. What if the prestige levels gave small bonuses to professions, flight path speed, and generally made it easier to do things on your account? Oh. If it's quality of life stuff and not any sort of player power, that is more towards like Guild Wars, right? Where you're unlocking things to travel faster. I'd have to see it. I'd be open to it. Seeing what they could offer. If it's like, oh, prestige level, I got plus 10% flight speed, like whoop-de-doo, right? At least it's something. Should there be an heirloom type items that you could send to your alts for increased XP gains? Nah. Leave heirlooms to retail. And they already butchered those anyways. How would you feel if your alt got increasingly more XP the more max level characters you had? Similar to warbands? Nah. I think each character should be its own thing. Like its own progression. I know it's kind of been butchered a little bit with the WoW token and also like the fact you can like buy the expansion and get a free character boost. Just leave it the way it is. Like they're gonna probably add boosts anyways. If you want to buy a boost, buy a boost. If not, just play it the normal way, right? Maybe I'll change my opinion on that. I could probably go back and forth. Should Classic Plus allow XP toggling for twinking? Why not? Sure, if you want to twink, let the people twink. Let's do a raid survey. Should there be level up raids that give strong items but require 10 plus players? I think that could be fun, honestly. Like, it give you a break from normal leveling, and it's optional. So if you want to go in there with some buddies, you know, while you're leveling, kill some guys, get some cool loot, sure, send it. How do you feel about catch-up raid? ZG AQ20. Catch-up raids and validate all the work I did in the previous tier by making it easier to get loot as profitable. It's kind of fun. Honestly, for Classic Plus, I would say catch-up raids and validate all the work I did. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. I think you should have to progress through the raids. Makes sense. At least for that. How do you feel about RP elements and raids? E.g., too soon, Executus. I want to see numbers on the screen, not some boss giving a speech for the 20th time. Remove them. I think as an option to skip the RP would make sense. I think it should be up to the raid leader to be able to just skip the RP. Like, it's cool to see like one or two times, but after you're like a month into a patch or whatever, let them skip it. Let them kill the thing. How do you feel about raids getting nerfed days, weeks, months after launch? Nerfs are inevitable. Nerfs should happen once, announce well ahead of time, and then never again for that content. Like, I feel like nerfs are fine. Like, if it's not many people are progressing in the content, then screw it. Let it be nerfed, I guess, you know. You want a majority of people to be able to do the content, I think. Given the choice of a new raid being spoiled by PTR, but launched relatively bug-free, versus a completely unseen raid, but fairly buggy, which would you prefer? Ooh. Man, that's tough. You want to go in crazy? Or, like, not know how to do the raid? PTR, but keep it very brief and more limited without exposing the entire raid. I think just going in, I mean, I'm fine with some bugs, honestly. Like, I'm not like a world first raid or anything. I don't really care. Like, if it's bugged, it is what it is. You have to wait for some fixes. As long as the bugs aren't like too numerous, right? Oh, what is this? Oh, the Yagloof. Alright. Rank your ideal raid size for Classic Plus. I mean, Flex would be perfect. I like 10-man raids. It's just easier to get people, easier to get a smaller group and to punch people. I think 10-man's fine. They could go all the way up to 40, though. Who gives a shit? 10 to 40 would be great for Flex. How do you feel about raids and or bosses requiring resistances in Classic Plus? I hate resistances. I think they're stupid. Like, to have gear. Like, if they should have items that you can, like, maybe make or create that you, like, put on as, like, buffs to gear. Like a cloak enchant or something like that. Like, I don't think there should be a whole piece of gear. Like, was it in Wrath, like, for Syndagosa and stuff like that? You just had to get, like, frost resistance. That's just annoying, man. I think they should just remove the system. Maybe it's okay for tanks or couple play to need them. That's fine, I guess, but I'm not a big fan. Should raids have multiple difficulty levels? Nah, not for Classic. There should just be one difficulty. If people want to do crazy hard raiding and be a mythic raider world first, then just go to retail. You're probably there anyways, right? How would you want the difficulty of raids in Classic Plus to be? Keep them about as hard or even easier than Classic. I don't want to prog multiple days a week just to kill bosses. It could be harder. I'm between the first and the second option. Like, I think they should be relatively easy to kill, but they shouldn't just be like you walk in and you know you're going to face roll it. I'm gonna go with that one for now. I think I err on the cause of easier. As you get more gear, the bosses start to die faster. Like, having a little bit of progression is probably fine. Yeah, we'll go with that. If there were different difficulties for raid, how should the loot differ? More loot drops for boss. I don't think it should have different stats. I think that takes away from Classic, honestly. Higher rarity. Maybe make more rare items drop. It could look different. More loot could drop. But I don't think the stats should be any different if you up the tier. You should do it for the love of the game if you want to go and progress harder content. Should cooldowns reset and raids after a wipe/successful kill? Yes, I think they should. Having them not reset is just a waste of time and it wastes people's time. It's a pointless thing to have. It's silly. How do you feel about world bosses? World bosses are annoying and incentivize players no lifing so they can scout a spawn. I don't really care about world bosses, to be honest. I got no opinion on this, really. How would you want world bosses to look in Classic Plus? World bosses should be more accessible to everyone, so making them all instants like they were in SOD is a good change. I like world bosses, but feel like the instance version didn't really catch the magic for them. I don't think world bosses should be instants, honestly. Having a really dangerous creature that's out in the world that people can kill is kind of cool. Like, why not just have them, like, spawn more frequently, honestly? Like, after they kill them, you get a chance to loot, and then another group can go in and try to kill it. Maybe it spawns every hour or something like that. I don't think it would bottleneck things that much. Well, I don't really care. I'll type your answer. Make them spawn more often. How about that? How do you feel about limited time events like the AQ Gate, event spawning content in the world within a set limited time frame? I don't think they should be removed. Like, yeah, it kind of creates a little bit of FOMO. But, like, it also adds some flavor to the game. Like, I never really felt, like, bad that I missed AQ events. That just wasn't for me. I think they should last longer than, like, 10 hours like this says. Yeah, I think that's cool. Like, make it, like, at least a week-long event or two so people can engage with the event, maybe. Get the actual chance to do something. How do you feel about quests that require you to enter multiple raids? Age of Thunder Fury... I think it's cool, like, to run around the world and complete epic quests, honestly. If you want to get a legendary item, you gotta do a legendary quest. Simple as that. You don't need to do it, but it's fun, a fun chase item. How do you feel about bosses cycling week to weeks or mechanics changing over time? I think changing it from week to week can be fun, but like I said, you might be having like some drop like items so that you don't have to kill it or like miss out on a week and then not get the kill and then you don't get the item. There should be a way to maybe do some catch up for that. How long should raid gear remain relevant on average? I think making gear last as long as possible is very healthy for the game. It incentivizes people to do old raids. Maybe there's like a BIS trinket or weapon in a couple tiers previous. Like, that's totally fine. Let people do that. It gives people a reason to go back into the other raids. Nowadays, new raid comes out, the old one, totally invalidated. That is dog shit content now. No one wants to do it. That sucks, right? Give people a reason to do it. Should the phase schedule in the Classic Plus reorder the raid release scheduled for original vanilla? No. It was fine. I think, yeah, they could just add more after next. That's totally chill. That's totally chill to me. Should Classic Plus allow GDQPs? I think not having them in a game is good, honestly. Like, I don't engage with them. I don't want to buy gold. And it is a huge problem, but people are always going to buy it regardless, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. Oh, I forgot to... Oh, I gotta rank these. I didn't rank them. I'm just gonna go down the list like this. Boom, 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 boom. Oh. There. Yeah, I got the new desk. Oh. I think that's enough surveys for one day. Holy shit, that took 2 hours and I'm like halfway done. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And I think I'm going to spend the remainder of my time now. I'm going to go and set up my new desk. Pretty hyped about that. But yeah, thanks you guys for tuning in. I'll be probably doing the rest of this. What is tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, I'll be doing it Thursday. More surveys coming up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it.